All right, let's go ahead and get started. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Thanks everybody for zooming in. We'll try and make this as short, sweet, and simple as possible. We have a couple of updates that are, I think, very important for our membership to know about, and we're going to be sharing all that information with you today through the various different people that we have on the call. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and share my screen just so that I can read an email to you guys that came in. And let me see. Okay, Stephanie, can you, since I see you on the screen here, Stephanie, can you see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this real quickly, you guys, from the TWU International. It says, TWU members, last week, President Biden signed the American Rescue Plan into law, the fifth COVID-19 emergency response bill since the beginning of the pandemic. The TWU played a major role in getting this bill passed, and it includes significant funding that will go directly into your pockets. Over the past year, we have won a total of $168.1 billion in transportation specific federal stimulus money. Every dime of this money comes with some of the strongest labor protections we've ever seen. At least 20,000 TWU jobs were saved due to this spending, and every single one of our members benefited directly from these bills. These victories are a result of the unity demonstrated by our members holding the line during these unprecedentedly tough times. Despite the tragic losses that we have suffered, the courage that our members have shown on the front lines of this pandemic has been remarkable. The disaster of COVID-19 has served as a powerful reminder to the world that transport workers are truly essential. In solidarity, Transport Workers Union International Administrative Committee. So I wanted to go ahead and read that to you guys just so that you can see what it is that we've been doing on a local level, on a state level, and on a national level. So sometimes people are asking, oh, what is it that you're doing here? What is it that you're doing there? What have you done for me lately? Well, that's what we're doing, organizing, educating, mobilizing on a local, state, and national level. Not just TWU, but ATU, Teamsters, and all the other organizations and affiliations that we are a part of. So with that being stated, I wanted to ask our peer assistance members, either Stephanie and or Anthony Brown, if you guys could chime in, please, and give a little bit of an update in regards to peer assistance. What's been going on with you guys? Have you guys been receiving any higher number of calls, higher number volume of operators reaching out to you guys during these times? So go ahead, either Stephanie or Anthony Brown.
Hi, Stephanie Smith, Peer Assistance. Thank you, Roger, for this opportunity. I won't be before you guys long. As we already know, to answer the question that you posed, compared to what we've all experienced over this last year, and with the operators being frontline employees, and not having that break in spite of the COVID hours that were issued. I know it's a lot of mothers out there, and the life had to be refigured. So taking that in consideration, it hasn't been as many calls as you would think, because I know I can say personally that it has shifted my life. And, I had to pick up some new coping skills, just to deal with life every day as it has shifted. So I'm here to reiterate, we still are there. You'll see us in the site visits. We're opening that back up, gradually. I miss interacting with you guys, but one constant is that we have not left, and we're here for support. You can call us at any time. And you might not feel comfortable doing that. However, what I'm trying to put out there is sometimes it does get rough, and you guys are out there, like I say, on the front line, and doing what you do. And I salute you. I know firsthand what you do, and it's not easy coupled with COVID. So it gets kind of stressful. You do have resources available to you. We're here, and if you don't want to, call the peer program, you just might have a fundamental question. And we just might be able to answer it. But if you don't pick up the phone, you won't know that. Tax season is upon us. You have your care program. They're also free and confidential. You might have tax questions, or you might need other resources. This is where the bulk of your resources come from. So, you probably seen these brochures around the various divisions. Don't hesitate. Like I said, if you don't raise your hand, if you don't make people aware that you're needing something, how can we know? No one knows. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Stephanie. That's very helpful information. I'm glad that you were able to zoom in today. And I wanted to ask, let's see, Anthony Brown. Any
Thank you.
words from Anthony Brown?
Yeah. Hey, Roger, I don't really have I'm on the freeway and I'm driving, right? And I'm coming from Sacramento. So Stephanie pretty much covered it. As far as I go, I haven't noticed a whole lot of people seem to be coping pretty well with COVID. It's like we've adjusted and we're resilient and we're making the best of it. Even the assaults are down. So that's pretty much all I have to say right now. We'll give you a call to follow up on what you stated about us coming down and talking with you guys, letting you guys know what's going on with the peer assistance, and I'll make it a point to do that. That about covers it for me, and I just want to reiterate what Stephanie said and let everyone know that we are here, we're available. COVID has not stopped us from participating and being out there with our peer assistance program for our operators and employees as a whole. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Yeah,
okay.
We can hear you, Anthony.
And we've learned safety first. I'm gonna put this phone down and I'm just gonna listen.
Copy that. Drive safe, Anthony Brown, peer assistance. And Stephanie, thank you so very much for that information. Next, I wanted to ask either Kat or Mark. I don't know if Mark is on the line. If you are, just do me a favor and raise your hand, Mark, so that I can pinpoint you. But I do know that Kat from Transit Riders is on the call. So I will ask Kat if you can go ahead and say a couple of words, who you are, what you are in terms of title, position, where you're from, and obviously what your group organization does. So go ahead, Kat Carter.
Right on. Thank you so much, Roger. I subbed in. My coworker Zach was supposed to be here tonight, but he has a huge migraine, so apologize for his absence. But I'm really excited to be here. Just really quickly, I don't think Mark could make it because it's also overlapped with another one of our meetings. So I just wanted to say, so I'm Kat Carter. I'm with San Francisco Transit Riders, a rider advocacy organization here in San Francisco. You may have heard of us. And I'm mostly here because tomorrow is Transit Driver Appreciation Day, and I haven't gotten to thank a Muni driver in person for over a year. So now I get to thank all of you at once. It's like making up for the whole past year right now. So I really, I appreciate that it has been a hugely difficult year for you guys. I appreciate all that you do. I appreciate you every day. I live on Highland Ave, just off Mission Street, and I hear you guys and see you guys go by all the time, and I can't wait. I'm getting my first shot on Saturday, so soon I will be back on Muni and be able to say hi to you guys in person. But in the meantime, so San Francisco Transit Riders, we are, like I say, a rider sort of advocacy organization. We worked with Roger and TWU to help get masks from Muni to get masks to you guys just about a year ago. And I just, I don't have prepared statements. I just wanted to say that we're here. We want to work with you guys. We've worked with Roger with Voices for Public Transportation on regional funding issues. We want to support you guys. We want to make up all the operator positions that are unfilled right now. We know contract negotiations are coming up in a year or so. And we want to support you. So if there are issues that you need help advocating at the city level, we're there, and we just really appreciate you and want to whatever we can do to help support you guys. We want to do. So we have gotten some people to take pictures of themselves with smiles and thank you cards, and I hope you see that tomorrow on social media. And I believe there's going to be some internal SFMTA communications that are going to show some of those pictures that we gathered for you. Not as many as I'd like, not as many that show how much I appreciate you, but yeah. So thank you all for all that you do. I'm available to answer any questions or reach out, or Roger knows how to get a hold of us if you want to do anything together to raise the issues about how transit is essential. We helped work on the federal level as well, passing that the 30 billion for transit. We are so happy to see that come through, and it's not over. We need to get a lot more funding for transit and to support you guys. So yeah, look forward to continuing to work with you guys. Thank you so much.
Indeed, and likewise, thank you very much, Cat Carter Transit Riders and to Transit Operator, Transit Driver Appreciation Day. And Cat Carter and Transit Riders are always, they always have transit operators at the forefront of their actions. So thank you very much for always being there, Cat Carter.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Next up, I wanted to, before we get to David Pilpel, who is one of our leading public transportation advocates, I do want to say that our brother Israel De La O out of Flynn Division has now been placed on the CIP program, which is the Catastrophic Illness Program. And special thanks to his chairperson, Anthony Ballister, and IFI at Flynn Division for helping move that process along, you guys. So that pretty much means that now that Israel De La O, in case you didn't know, he was involved in a very serious, tragic accident that almost took his life away. He was, I think, still is somewhat semi-paralyzed, and he's been placed on the CIP program. That means that any of us who would like to donate sick and or vacation hours can do so. And I don't have the link on me right now, but if anybody does have the link, if you could please post it up on in the chat in here, and or speak to one of your chairpersons. If you want specific details, reach out to the Flynn Division chairperson, since he was one of the leading people that helped place Israel De La O on the CIP program. I'm in the process myself of getting one of the forms and filling it out, and seeing how many sick and vacation hours I can donate for our brother Israel De La O. So thank you, Anthony Ballister and Ife Omokaro, for helping out with that. I wanted to ask David Pilpel to please chime in with any updates that you have. David Pilpel, one of our leading public transportation advocates. Go ahead, David Pilpel.
Great, thanks, Roger, and hello to everyone. Nice to see some people in person, or at least over Zoom, because we don't always see each other these days. So I was just going to give a quick summary of some things that happened yesterday at the MTA board. They met from 1 o'clock till just after 8 o'clock, over 7 hours. I don't know if they had like an 8-hour guarantee, and so they were trying to make up that time because they were good. Anyway, it just went, it was another long meeting. Any of you that are having trouble sleeping, you can always watch the rerun of that. But seriously, there were a couple of interesting points. There was a long discussion about the transit update that Julie gave, discussion about the transit recovery, some very interesting questions from the new director, Manny Yucatil, about what if we did this, what if we did that. They talked a lot about going from what they now term to be 70% of service, which is approximately 70% of the service hours, but not the same capacity as used to exist, and certainly not the same configuration. We all know that the Richmond Expresses and a lot of the peak hour service that operated is not happening now, may or may not come back. Anyway, they talked about going from that 70% service level to 85%, and when that could occur and under what circumstances and training requirements, and if they hired more 9139s, particularly if they came from your ranks of 9163s, then they'd have to backfill more 9163 hiring, and how quickly they can train people and all of that. You know, a lot of challenge. Oh, and I see I'm wearing my Muni Forward shirt. I guess I have mixed views about that shirt and what that means for some of us. That was a prior marketing scheme that they had. In fact, that's how they hired Julie, was Muni Forward. All right, let's not talk about that. But there was also a lot of discussion about rail and cable cars. So Julie suggested that as of May, at this point, they are thinking of restarting the Powell-Hyde cable car line and the F line to operate. I'm not sure if it's both of them. I guess both of them only during the day. Not even clear if it's 5 days or 7 days. But she talked a lot. She talked a lot. Wow, she talks a lot. She talked a lot about the training issues and infrastructure issues and all of that. There was some appreciation for the impact on tourism and reopening the economy. I mean, I guess like tonight, where we are right now in the world is an interesting time, because this increasing vaccine rollout and the shifting into these other colored tiers means that we may have more of a recovery sooner than we might have expected. But that's what we know right here, right now, today. That could turn around tomorrow or in a week if the numbers go the wrong direction. And clearly the governor's under more pressure to reopen things because he's under the threat of a recall. So there's, you know, all kinds of technical, health, policy and political factors going on right now. But I just wanted to mention a few of those. And once again, remind all of you that the MTA board does meet. It's a public meeting. They're now doing this over, I don't know, Teams or one of these platforms like Zoom, with the public able to call in and make public comment. And it would be great. It would be fantastic if some of you, any of you, would attend some of those meetings and make some comments and tell them what's happening in the real world, because otherwise they just bring their own anecdotes as members of the board and hear from staff. And I think the only way we're going to turn this around and influence it really is to hear from all of you. And if you say, look, I'm getting pass ups and I'm getting lots of people on the bus that aren't wearing a mask or are wearing a mask or are homeless with issues or real people going to work, people trying to start to go to school, whatever it is, they need to hear that, and they need to hear that directly from you. So those meetings are the first and third Tuesdays starting at 1 o'clock. As I say, they can be long meetings, but they do take general public comment towards the beginning, usually around 1:30, 2 o'clock. It varies. But again, it would be great, unbelievably great for any of you to attend and speak your mind, whatever your thoughts are. Gordy, I'm sure you've got thoughts on cable car and what they're talking about and what makes sense. Anyway, all of you, all the divisions, all the modes. Anyway, I can answer any questions as Kat said, or I can just leave it at that. But wanted to also appreciate all of you for all you do in the morning, in the afternoon, on the OWL, all day, every day. You all make Muni run and make the city run, and you know that. So thanks.
David Pilpel, thank you very much for your updates. And David Pilpel is absolutely right, you guys, in terms of needing your assistance at these meetings. Anybody on this call right here, right now, if and when you hear and watch this video that we are recording at this moment, if you have any issues, any problems, hypothetically, like parking, if that's a problem for you in terms of coming to work and not being able to find a parking space, then this is the place where you should go and express your thoughts, opinions, and experiences. Because if these people, the SF board of directors, the MTA board of directors, if they hear from 10 operators every 2 weeks about the parking situation, guess what? These are the people that can do something about this problem, as opposed to us just griping about it on Facebook and complaining about it to your leader and your follower about how you got a ticket last week and I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to complain to you. No, do what David Pilpel is asking you to do. Please join the SFMTA board meetings at 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. You don't have to join in as he sometimes does for 8 hours. That's a really long time. Thank you for being able to put up with that. But like he stated, public comment is towards the beginning. Public comment is indeed just that, public comment. What are your problems? What are your concerns? What are your issues? What are your experiences? And instead of griping about it on Facebook, bring it to the platform that can actually make a difference. The board of directors, please, please, please follow the advice of David Pilpel. Thank you for that, David Pilpel, public transportation advocate, lead public transportation advocate. Next up, I wanted to ask Michael Dennis if he can give us an update pertaining to two things. Usually Michael Dennis gives us updates about money, which is what the majority of us want to hear. So Michael Dennis, can you give us an update in regards to the paycheck committee, when you're planning on establishing the paycheck committee meetings, and about this new lunch pay category that's going to be that operators that we're going to be seeing hopefully at the end of the month, according to the MTA payroll department. Give everybody a little bit of background when you get to that topic, because you have two topics of discussion, the paycheck committee and the new lunch pay category. Just give people a little bit of background, just quick synopsis about how and why this new lunch pay category is going to be seen in the next couple of pay cycles. Go ahead, Michael Dennis.
Okay, and I want to share my screen real quickly to talk about the new pay category.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a lunch pay calculator. This is a document that is on the website. I created this to help people understand and try to figure out how if they're getting paid their lunches correctly. Because when you look at your paycheck, it doesn't say how many hours, it doesn't say how many lunches, it doesn't say the rate, there's just money. It says lunch and then there's some money. So people were always kind of confused about, or never really sure if they were getting paid lunches correctly. They know they did 10 shifts that each should have a lunch, or next time they did 8 shifts, but they don't know. So I put this together. And just real quickly, it's got all the different pay steps, but just looking at this one here on the far left, the green column on the far left, that's the 100% category. How this would work is if you saw $12.75 on your check, you go over here, oh, that's one lunch. If you saw down here at the bottom, $76.50 on your check, you go over to the left, that's 6 lunches. So it made it really easy to at least you could know you were getting paid the right number of lunches. And this helped a lot of people, but it also brought to light a problem that has been going on for a really long time, probably forever, is that they weren't paying the lunches correctly in the first place. They weren't paying the right amount. They haven't been paying the right amount of money for the 20-minute lunches. They haven't been paying 20 full minutes on that. And it's been very easy for them to, kind of hide that by not saying how many hours and minutes or how much, it's just a bunch of money that they're putting in there. You're supposed to accept that that's the correct amount. And it came to light because it's very easy to see if you have 3 lunches, if you make $38.64 an hour and you have 3 20-minute lunches, that's an hour of pay. Why is this not $38.64? Why is that not? And the reason is they're shaving time off of every single lunch, every single day, every single lunch. None of them are paid at 20 minutes, to be honest. They're not. They're 19 minutes and some change, because they were rounding down every single lunch and never making it up. So I'm going to stop sharing now. Let's see. And so, we brought that to their attention, and they kind of, as they do, make excuses and say, well, that's the computer did it. The computer doesn't know how to round properly. There's nothing we can do about it. And we just insisted that there has to be something they can do about it. Our contract says our lunches are 20 minutes and we need to get paid 20 minutes. And so finally they came up with a solution because they insisted their computer can't do it right. So what they're doing is they're going to add another category. When you see all those categories on your paycheck stub, there's another category that's going to be called retro PR. And that's retro pay for the lunch pay that they've been shorting us all along. So preferably, they're going to do this on every single check. You're going to have a certain amount of dollars and cents for lunch. And then in that category, you'll have the difference that they used to short you, but now they're paying you. And it's just going to be a matter of a dollar or some cents per, pay period. But they're going to go back. They're going to back pay for the last year. So they're saying that we're going to first see that on the March 30th check. They don't always do exactly what they say. So we're just hoping that it does appear on the March 30th check, but that's the one you're going to see a back payment. So if you do a lot of shifts where you get lunches every day, you're going to see probably $20, maybe $30 worth of back payments of lunch pay that you haven't been getting that you always should have been getting. And then going forward, you won't notice that much on your checks, but they will be a little bit bigger because your lunches are going to be paid correctly. So we're real happy about that. It's not a huge victory monetarily, but it's a case where we drew a line, we held our ground, and we said, we know the contract says we're supposed to get 20 minutes, and you're not going to short us 1 minute. You're not going to short us half a minute. 20 minutes is 20 minutes. And it took since like last November, we've been fighting for this. They're so stubborn, but finally we got it, and they are going back to the beginning of the fiscal year. So you'll see that on your check stub, hopefully March 30th. That's what they're saying, to expect it on March 30th. So that's the new lunch pay category that you'll see on your check. And do we have any questions? Any hands up on that?
We'll get to the questions later on, Michael Dennis. But before we do, you guys, I just want to remind everybody, Michael Dennis is always there helping us out. He helped us out with the FLSA. Michael Dennis is helping us out with the lunch premium. Michael Dennis has helped out a couple of operators here and there when they have been shorted, whatever amounts that they were shorted, whether it's pertaining to rail pay, night differential, whatever, expert operator, line trainer premium. We have several different premiums. We have about 7 or 8 different premiums, and it's absolutely important for all of us to scrutinize our own paychecks. And I know that operators have been asking Michael Dennis on an individual one-to-one basis to help him break down their paychecks and their pay stubs. We don't have that type of time, hence the reason that we are going to create the paycheck committee. So Michael Dennis, do you have an update about the paycheck committee?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We're going to be having paycheck committee meetings in very small groups because we're still under COVID distancing. At the Fillmore office, we've got room in the conference room for myself and about 3 or 4 other people. We can spread out, and I've got a couple of dates if anyone's interested in joining the committee. It's just basically going to be an instructional that shows you how to look at your paycheck and break it down and figure out by looking at your trapeze, your hours that you work, to figure out if you're getting paid correctly or not. Because us not being able to look at our check and really, make sense of it is why they get away with shorting us on the lunches, on when you don't get a rails, when you don't get the premium you're supposed to get. It's because the check stub is so confusing. They're just hoping that, and trusting that we're not going to catch it. So how we're going to resolve these is just for all of us to be able to understand our check and break it down. And I've created a step-by-step process that will help you to do that. They'll help the operators to do that on their own. They'll be able to, go through the steps and see if they're getting paid correctly, and then catch it immediately. As soon as as soon as you find something, you catch it, and it's a lot easier to get corrected when you catch it immediately and you address it right after that pay period ends than it is, if something's been going on for a really long time. And I think that's the solution. Also educating the members and having the members catch every single mistake as they happen. I think that's the solution to getting payroll, to get the checks right in the first place. They've been getting away with being lazy and sloppy and shorting us here and there because no one complains, because they don't even know it. They slip it right past us because the paycheck stubs are so confusing. So that's what the paycheck committee is going to be. And I've got a couple of dates if anyone's interested. We're going to have one meeting at 3 p.m. on March the 30th, 3 p.m. at the Fillmore office. And then there's going to be another meeting at the Fillmore office at Friday the 2nd at 11 a.m. And like I said, it's going to be very small groups right now because of COVID. I don't want to launch it online yet. I want to do in person at first, and till we get it down. And we'll have them as frequently as we need to get everybody who's interested in. And there's an email. I want to give you an email. If you send an email to committee and then an underscore paychecks, committee_paychecks. This is how you register for the March 30th, 3 p.m. or the April 2nd, 11 a.m. And if you can't make either of those, let me know that you're interested, but you can't make it, and give me some suggestions on times that would work for you. If I can get a group together to have 3 or 4 people come at a time that works for you, we'll structure it around that as well. Because I want to get as many people in as possible in small groups right now. So that's the email. Just send an email to committee_paychecks, plural paychecks with the S, at twusf.org. Committee_paychecks at twusf.org. That will come to me, and I'll register you. You'll get a return email for either one of those 2 dates. And if you can't make it, just make some suggestions, times that are easier for you, and we'll try to arrange that with a group for a time that's more convenient for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that update, Secretary Treasurer Michael Dennis. He is always, like I stated earlier, trying to reach out to us, help us out in terms of understanding our paychecks, our pay stubs, in the manner which how he understands it and how he breaks it down. And trust you me that he has been ripped off. Michael Dennis has been ripped off by the agency, and he has calculated to the last penny what he has been owed. He has been able to prove it, and he has been able to get his money. And if you would like to learn those skills and how to break down and decipher those pay stubs that are extremely difficult to understand, please contact us, contact Michael Dennis. That is going to be Tuesday, March 30th at 3 p.m. and Friday, April 2nd at 11 a.m. at the Fillmore office. All right, you guys. So this is us reaching out to you guys. Hopefully some of you will be able to join in at either one of those paycheck committee meetings. All right. Next, I'd like to bring on board Pete Wilson to talk about 2 issues. One, AWOL versus WMO. So Pete, can you please let everybody know what those acronyms mean, what they stand for, and how they differ, how one is much more dangerous and serious than the other? And after you talk about that, Pete, can you give us an update about the Union Strong app?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Thank you, Roger. Brothers and sisters and anybody else. I think it's important. I think this is an important message, and I put it on Facebook. I've put it other places. I really want people to understand that there is a significant difference between coming in late and not showing up for work. So if you take a look at our MOU, and some of you have the pocket contract, the pink one that we have, so you can just look it up online. Late for work. Okay, this is very important. If an operator is late for duty without approval, but does report and takes a scheduled non-overtime run, such late reports will be tracked and recorded on a rolling 5-month period with disciplinary procedures up to the following. First violation is an oral warning. Oh no, an oral warning. Second one, written warning. Okay, I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm just suggesting, folks, an oral warning is not the worst thing. If you do get an oral warning, what do? You write a rebuttal within 30 days and it goes into your file along with this warning. If that warning ever comes out again, they have to read your rebuttal. Now, you don't want to have that habit because look at this, third violation, 5-day suspension, fourth, 10-day suspension, and fifth could lead up to termination. Okay, that's for coming to work late. Okay, that's for coming to work late. Now, look at this. This is in the contract. This has been in the contract for years. Absence without leave, AWOL. Okay, when an operator fails to report for duty and does not receive approval, the absence will be defined as an AWOL and will be tracked and recorded on a rolling 8-month. Not the other one was 5 months. This is 8-month period with disciplinary procedures up to the following. The first violation within an 8-month period is a 2-day suspension. Okay, I have operators contacting me and say, I didn't know I was supposed to work. I called the dispatcher and they said, my stuff has already been given away. Do not, okay, just say, oh, that's all right. You know, you call, you're 20 minutes late. And they say, oh, well, I gave you a runaway. You might as well not come in. Do not listen to them. Even if we go to a hearing and we say, but the dispatcher said this, they don't care. If somebody told me that they said, or no, I read that somebody's cell phone didn't go off. Let's say time change. You were an hour late. Okay. You call and you say, oh, I'm sorry, I just woke up. They're going to say, don't come in. What happens if you don't come in? You get a 2-day suspension. What happens if you show up 3 hours late? You show up 3 hours late, they write you were there. They might tell you to leave, but I don't care. We fight it and we get you what? An oral warning. Okay. There's people on this call who we fought this before and we won. Okay. Look at this. Your second violation, and this is what gets me on these AWOLs, is it's not just the 2-day suspension, folks. Inside of a 10-day period, 8-month period, you do it, and this is what you know, you do it on purpose, or you do it, or you're kind of a little lazy. Well, I don't want to call you lazy. Let's just say something happens. You get a flat tire, whatever. They give you a 2-day suspension. And then something happens, a miscommunication. I remember when I was new, one time I was on the extra board and I think it said 315 and I wrote down 351. I switched the numbers. Now, luckily my dispatcher was like, he's new. I was late. They didn't give me an AWOL, but it's that sort of thing happens twice and you get a dispatcher who's not a little lenient. Look at that. Second time, 10-day suspension. Okay. If you've been here for over 3 years, if you're on the extra board, that's over $3,000. Okay. So this is a little tough as far as I'm concerned, but look at this. Third time in an 8-month period, termination. Okay. The problem, the reason Roger is going to have me talk about this today, and I have talked about it before, is this is something that's really hard to fight. Okay. We've had people in trains hit people walking in the street and the agency tries to suspend them for 5 or 10 days and we fight it. And all they get is a written warning by the arbitrator. There are things we can win. But if you just don't show up to work, you say, well, my clock broke. That doesn't work. This is in the contract, folks, and it's unfortunate, but please, please, please show up to work. If you call and you're late, oh, okay. You know what? I didn't put this here, but it's in the rule book. If you want to call in sick, you're supposed to call in 45 minutes before. So if you're supposed to be at work at 7, you got to call in at 6:15 or show up 15 minutes early at the division. You know, I'm lucky to live in San Francisco. Presidio is just up the hill. If I woke up late and I'm like feeling terrible, but I'm supposed to be there in a half an hour, I could throw on my uniform. If I get there in 15 minutes, I could say, I'm sick, I'm going home. As long as it's 15 minutes before your shift. They don't want you showing up right on time and say, I'm sick and going home. Now, if worst came to worst, and I've had some people do this, as far as I'm concerned, you show up 5 minutes before your shift and you say, I'm sick. And they say, well, it's too late. If you go home now, you get an AWOL. Say, okay, take the paddle, go to your bus, and then call sick on the run. I mean, at least we could try and fight that, but that's better than an AWOL. So the big difference here, folks, you call in, you wake up late. I don't care if it's 2 hours late. Go to work. You know, if you want to call them and tell them, I'm sorry, I'm late, I'm coming, and that's a polite thing to do. That's the professional thing to do. But they might say, don't come to work. You go to work. I don't care if they told you not to come to work. If they're not going to give you insubordination because you came to work and they told you not to. You show up to your division and you get a warning. And if you get an AWOL and you showed up there, you fight it. I don't care which division you're at, all 8 divisions. If you go to a Skelly meeting and you get 2-day suspension, 5-day suspension, whatever, days suspension, we can fight it and we can take a step 2. Okay?
Thank you for that update, Pete. So I want to chime in quickly, you guys, just because the reason why we're mentioning this is because it's a serious problem. AWOLs are unfortunately ubiquitous throughout the fleet, throughout the agency, because operators are under the impression that the dispatcher says, oh, you're 10 minutes late. Nope, don't come in. Therefore, the operator says, oh, the dispatcher told me not to come in because I'm 10 minutes late. So I'm staying home. I'm getting the AWOL. Absolutely not, you guys. If the dispatcher tells you to stay home because you're 10 minutes late, you still show up to work. And that is a WMO, which is a working miss out. And the only penalty for that is an oral warning. Whereas if you stay home, then you're charged with an AWOL. The point here is show up to work, even if you're 10, 20 minutes late or an hour late, because there's set policy in terms of how to deal with that. And if a dispatcher who does not know the rules, laws, and policies simply tells you to go home or to not show up, we have documentation to back you up, which will protect you and defend you. This is what Pete Wilson does. However, it can be avoided by simply coming to work, regardless of the dispatcher telling you don't show up because you're 5 or 10 minutes late, or I already gave you a runaway to somebody else. Doesn't matter. Show up to work, avoid the AWOL, get a working miss out, which equates to simply an oral warning. All right, you guys, go ahead, Pete.
All right. Yes, thank you, Roger. And some people do have concerns about, calling in sick. I got it. What the agency is supposed to do if you call in sick, folks, and if they bring you in for sick counseling, the positive is they're going to pay you. If you've been here for over 3 years, you get paid $10 to go in. If they try and schedule you 3 hours away from your shift, well, then I complain and I get it closer to my shift. But they are supposed to win you, because we brought this up with the agency and they said, well, what are we supposed to do if somebody's sick 20 times in a year? We want to make sure they're okay. So I had a person today, we had a conference, a step 2 hearing. They're trying to give this person some major discipline. And I let into them because this person's manager never gave them counseling. Like, do you have an issue with a family member? You can get this. You have an issue with alcohol. They didn't have an issue with alcohol, but if you had an issue with alcohol, you can go handle it. There's a lot of things they can do. And when they bring you in, they are supposed to be helping you. If they don't, then we just need to handle that. And I am more than happy to continue to bug the agency. I am a thorn in their side and continue to bug them to tell them they need to train their managers to help their employees. Okay. We are not their enemies. They might be our enemies, but we are not their enemies. We're their employees and they are there to help us. Okay.
Indeed.
Okay.
Talk to us about
Supervisors, dispatchers, managers, they're all there to help you operate. All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
All
Pete Wilson. Give us the information about the.
Okay,
Union
so
Strong
here
Act.
is the other, hold on a second. I'm looking on my screen share thing. So that's, there it is. Sorry. All right. So what Roger is talking about, when back in 2018, when Roger and I first got into office, somebody, Roger and I were kind of annoying to people. We made videos. We tried to inform people of what was going on, workplace violence. We tried to inform people about healthcare and retirement and different things that people had questions about. And when I got into the office, somebody said to me, another officer said, people know, but they just don't care. So I remember getting with an operator on the way home and saying, wow, somebody said that to me. What do you think? And he's like, that's crazy. We don't know and we do care. I'm not saying 100% of the people know or don't know, but there's a lot of people who want a lot of information. One of the ways that we can see this is that Woods and Green and Presidio and Kirkland, they all use WeChat. Okay, so that's a private app that people are just chatting with each other. That is not a TW platform. You know, there's a Facebook forum called the Transit Talk. There's like 1,200 people there. Is that a TWU official platform? No, it isn't. So, I think I think Cable Car also, excuse me, has WeChat. I haven't been involved. But we decided to have an official platform to get information out to the members. Okay, there's an app out there. It's called Union Strong. It's called the Union Strong app, and I think there's about 200 unions now that are now using the app. It's specifically made for unions. Now, a couple good things about it. They're not going to mine your information. The information is just for the local union. They don't sell your information. It's just us. There's no ad. Unstable. Maybe it was talking about me, but I think I said the internet connection is unstable. So the union paid for it, and it's a yearly fee. It doesn't cost you guys anything. The idea is you scan right here, this QR code. It's right here. Feel free to take your phone out, turn on the, just turn on your phone app. You point it right there at that QR code, and it will give you the automatic link to the App Store or whatever they call the other Google store. Sorry, I'm an iPhone kind of guy. And you can download the app. Now, the idea of the app is there's the location on there that events. We will be meeting is, or as David Powell said, you know, there's some MT board meetings. Now you have to participate. Interesting if it's going on. You might put that. Before I went to the Potrero Division holiday party.
Hey, Pete.
Right, it was a lot of fun.
Pete Wilson, I have to interject real quick because your internet connection is kind of unstable and we are getting only bits and pieces of what you are saying. So I had to interject because your screen is getting cut off and your audio is coming in very, very sporadic. I'm sorry about that. Try it again. But just in short, you guys, we now have a Union Strong app for all of our members. It's free. We are asking you to please scan the QR code so that you can be logged into the Union Strong app. This Union Strong app is going to be our newest and latest method and mode of communication. I know that probably everybody on this call, along with 1,500 plus operators, receive my messages via text every month. And in order to avoid that, we're just going to go to a new platform called Union Strong app, where you will get all the information instantly within 1 second pertaining to new vaccine sites, wage increases, accidents that occur out on the lines, or whatever the case may be. This Union Strong app is going to be the new platform that we utilize to get out the information instantly. So hopefully Pete Wilson's audio has improved, and maybe he wants to give us a little bit more information about that. But just the nitty gritty, this is the Union Strong app. It's purchased for every single TWU Local 258 member. Please go ahead and scan the QR code so that you can download this Union Strong application so that we can get information out to you in a much faster and professional manner. Because remember, the Transit Talk Facebook page is just a Facebook page where people post all types of stuff. Some of it has nothing to do with Transportation or Muni or MTA or TWU Local 258. This site, this Union Strong app is going to be specifically dedicated 100% towards information and updates pertaining to our jobs, our duties, our whatever the case may be pertaining to Muni, MTA, and TWU Local 258. So please scan this QR code so you can download the Union Strong app and get the latest information pertaining to anything that's happening out there in regards to Muni and TWU Local 258. So please, please, please download this. It's free, and that's pretty much it. Okay, you guys? So don't know.
One other thing, Roger, I'm quite excited. The Michael Dennis and I have been working on this thing. The agency sends us a list of our 2,600 members, and you guys remember at the last election, I got a ballot that said green. Roger, I think, got Woods. Michael got green. They don't even know where we are. Our phone numbers are often incorrect. Our addresses are incorrect. Some of you didn't get ballots last time. And that's because of the poor information that's coming from the city. So I want to stop relying on that. I'm very excited about this app. So Roger, I am, when the first 100 people sign up, I'm giving a $25 gift certificate, me, not the union, because I didn't ask the executive board, $25 gift certificate to Super Duper.
Excellent. All right, you guys, please go ahead and scan that QR code, download the Union Strong app, and you will be receiving more information on a much faster basis. All right. And maybe that might even eliminate me from, having to do the monthly mass texting to more than 1,500 operators or union members that I have on my cell phone. So Pete, do me a favor and please stop sharing your screen so we can move on with the remaining items here. I don't know if we have any of the shop stewards from the 9132 Transit Fare Inspectors, either Kevin Smith or Edwin Rosales. I did not see them on the call, but if you are here, please do me a favor and raise your hand or do a virtual thing so that I can see where you are, because it's kind of difficult to scan through 3 different pages. So I don't see any of the shop stewards for the 9132 Transit Fare Inspectors, so there will be no updates pertaining to them and that group, that crew. And if you guys do show up, then please let it be known. Let's see. Our PCC committee has been working diligently to bring back the PCCs, the streetcars, and the cable cars. So in 2 months, the streetcars are going to be returning, and in 5 months, the cable cars are going to be returning. So that right there is absolutely great news for everybody. More public transportation means less pollution, less traffic, less congestion, so, and more jobs for all of our members. So that's 2 thumbs up on that. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns from anybody? I don't know if we have any chairpersons on the call, any executive board members that would like to say anything. I see that we have, it says Flynn. I don't know if that's Chairperson Ballister, but if it is, I wanted to say that we did talk about Israel De La O being placed on the CIP program, thanks to the Flynn Division Chairperson, Anthony Ballister, for assisting with that program, placing Israel De La O under the CIP, and Ife Omakaro. So let's see, Flynn Division has their hand raised. So let's see if that is indeed the chairperson from Flynn. Go ahead.
Am I good?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, I'm good. All right. Okay, listen. Here's Anthony Ballister, Flynn Division Union Rep. As far as Israel, this accident that happened with him was about a week or a little over a week before Christmas, and he is struck by a vehicle on his way to work. He lives in Richmond, and he's on way to BART, and with a driver, a motorist, ran red light, struck him, and he was in the hospital up to about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Now he's at home, and his wife had to take time off from work to care for him. And he does have feeling in his arms and legs. He still cannot walk, but I did talk to him. He is speaking, and he feels that, he's getting better. Anyway, this guy, you guys ever met him? He smiles. He's a great person. and he needs all the support. And people that have met him, hey, listen, hey, it's great. Okay, with that being said, there's one more other issue that we have at Flynn and throughout the agency. This past week, we had 3 operators caught using their phones, on a coach. Now, they weren't using it while they're driving. The coach was off. They got out of the operator seat, right? The issue is off. The issue is that when they got off the operator seat, right, they stepped up to coach and they put his cell phone out of their pocket, not in the coach, not operating the coach, right? Even if it's turned off, they put a phone out of their pocket and start looking at it and texting right away. So what that shows is that your phone was on your person and it was on. The rule that the agency put out, which I think, I don't know if we can fight or not, but I'm sure we could, because I've never seen anything that we agreed or you agreed with this issue, but it may happen in the past administration, which I might have missed. Anyway, so listen, if you step off the operator seat, okay, and you step off your coach, and coach is turned off, and you pull your phone out of your pocket and start texting right away, right? That means your phone is on and it's on your person. 0 tolerance. You're getting 5 days off, straight out. Please, everyone, let your coworkers know, let your members know, let everyone know that keep your phone off your person. This is 0 tolerance. There's one operator got off his coach and stepped about 10, 15 feet away. And he stepped a little bit further back on the coach where the camera catch him. He takes his phone out of his pocket and starts texting right away. That's it's on his person and it's on. And three operators got caught this past week. Every week, no less than 2 are caught. And it's 0 tolerance. Come on, please. Put your phone, like Roger said before, in the little sandwich bag or the little bags they give you with the little mask. Put it in there. Put it behind you. Keep it off your person. I'm so saying, because our operators are our members, man. We're people. We got families. We got to take care of one another, and we don't want anyone to lose food off the table just because agency's policy. That's about it. Okay, Roger, I apologize. I had one glass of wine. All right. Okay, please.
One glass of wine.
Okay, 5. All right, but anyway, I'm saying from my heart because
all right, you guys.
Flynn is my family. I love everyone, man, and I love everyone out there. Please.
All right. Thank you for that, Chairperson.
All right, thank you. Hey, I'm home. I'm not driving. Okay.
That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that update,
Hey,
Chairperson.
no phone off your person.
Thank you.
No,
For
okay.
that.
This, what I'm gonna see. Look, there's an incident that SFPD had an incident go down, right? So they took about 4 or 5 coaches' videos of this one particular time period, right? And they put the videos. And then the agency is gonna look at these videos. It has nothing to do with you, but having something to do with someone else. They're gonna put the videos. They're gonna look at the videos, and what do they find? They find operators running through red lights. They have operators getting to the terminal and putting the phone out. They're not looking for anything.
Thank you.
Anybody report something, right? A PSR.
Thank you for that.
Okay, all right. Listen,
Chairperson Ballas.
Hey, Roger.
Thank you. If you do not show up to work, we all know that the wine had its effect. So thank you for that update. So next up, you guys, are there any other chairpersons that would like to give an update pertaining to their particular barn or any other issues? Are there any other executive board members here? Any other chairpersons, shop stewards, vice chairs, secretaries that would like to say something before we ask any questions and comments from the general public? Okay, seeing none, I see that we have Mr. Arnold Gray on the line here, and I wanted to ask Arnold, would you like to give a update in regards to the PACT training program and how that's going? Anything new, anything different, anything that we should be aware of?
Okay, sure. So I am a participant, what's called a subject matter expert with the PACT training, which all of our 9163s and management is supposed to go through. The acronym PACT, P-A-C-T, stands for Practical Communication Tools for Safety and Service. And quickly, the gist of this program is a one-day, 8-hour class for all of us to go through. And it's intended primarily for us to de-escalate situations which may arise out here in the public while we're in service, or even at an end terminal or what have you, while we're at work. And yeah, so it's an outside, it's not Muni that's conducting this. They have actually hired a consulting agency, and they've chosen to have at least one subject matter expert at each of the classes. So I have found it actually to be helpful for me. I think because I've done it so many times, and I started learning some things about, I know when I went into training to become an operator, they told me, look, don't worry about fares, don't argue with anyone about fares, but there's very little instruction about how to de-escalate a situation when the drunk comes on or something. You know, they might tell you, well, just push a button and sit and wait. Well, you know, there's a lot that can go on between that time that situations cause, someone grabs a phone or there's a fight that starts, and before TMC actually responds to our request. So this is intended to help us learn how to de-escalate a situation, whereas perhaps TMC may not have to get involved in the first place. Having said that, I forgot, did you have a specific thing that you want me to talk about?
I just wanted you to give everybody an update about the PACT training program, and just, you know, just to see if there's anything else that we need to know about it. That was pretty much it.
I would just ask that for those of us, because we're all, and Roger, I know you have been in that class as well. It really goes a lot easier for I'm going to do a pitch for myself, self-centered, that we get participation, just as those of us who are participating in this meeting, just by showing up and even just listening, by the people that share our experiences and ways that we have handled things that can help enlighten us to do our jobs better, to be safer, to provide better service to the public, because that's our job, really. Regardless of what the administrators do, this is what we do. We provide a service for our passengers, and we'd like to do it safely for not only them, but for us. And if we can learn some tools and a few suggestions and perhaps apply them, that can maybe keep us from getting PSRs, and keep us out of what I call the principal's office and talking about our behavior and why we talk back to someone or what have you. It might not be necessary if we participate in this PACT training to the best of our ability. I'll keep it on me. For me, I'm learning to de-escalate a lot of situations that I used to think, you can't talk to me that way, you can't do this, you can't do that. Don't worry about these things. Anyway, that's where I am with that.
Thank you very much for that update, Arnold, and it's absolutely important you guys to know, realize, and understand the fact that right now at this moment, like I stated earlier and before, there have been 0 layoffs, but that is not stopping the agency from firing you. And if you get into a situation with a passenger, you're probably going to be blamed for it. And don't worry, Pete Wilson is going to be there to do the best that he can to try and protect and defend you, but we can only go so far. The agency is looking around and they are fishing to see if you're on your cell phone, and they will get you. They're looking around for the AWOLs and they will get you. So please avoid those 3-letter, 4-letter acronyms, AWOLs, PEDs. They sound small, they sound short, they sound frivolous, but they are absolutely detrimental for your employment here. So please stay away from those acronyms and stay focused, stay strong, stay safe out there, you guys. Let's hear from operator Melvin Clark. Go ahead, Melvin.
Good evening, brothers. I hope everybody's doing well and staying healthy. I want to talk about, if anybody saw the bulletin about pre-op, and just want to give you a heads up. When you pre-op, it's very important, as they say, wait for your radio. Leave the schedule alone. Some of y'all rush out there because you're trying to beat the schedule. If you get in any incident, they're going to tell you, why didn't you wait and call TMC? Wait for them to respond. Remember, safety is the highest priority today, tomorrow, and always. Do your pre-op walk around. It ain't like it used to be. You got cameras all over you. So if you do something wrong, they're going to scrutinize you. And as the president said, and everybody else, they will find ways to suspend you, get their money back, or terminate you based on your record. So do your pre-op inside and out. Follow the protocol. You should have one. Go to the training department. They have pre-ops, and keep it with you if you don't have it already. But make sure you get that radio, whatever goes down. If you late, if it's after 5 minutes, keep hitting the orbit star, hit request again and again. Sometimes you hit it 3 or 4 times, they'll pick up. And if you got to, hey, hit priority if you have to. But the main thing, before you pull out that yard, make sure your radio and your car is pre-op. That's all I have to say. Everyone stay safe and healthy. Keep up the good work, Mr. President, and you and the executive board. I love the information, all the educational stuff that Dennis coming out with, that Pete and yourself. Keep us informed and really, hey, just keep it up. But please, co-workers, do your pre-op. Call such before you leave if you're late. Let them know you're LPO, late pullout, and the reason why. Thank you.
Thank you, Melvin Clark. Words of wisdom from one of our seasoned veteran green operators, Melvin Clark. So you guys, this is not just coming from me or from a few people. This is Arnold Gray. This is Melvin Clark. This is Pete Wilson. All of the folks on here are trying to keep us employed. We're letting you guys know these things because we don't want anybody to lose their jobs. And like I stated before, nobody has been laid off at this moment, but that's not stopping the agency from firing you. So please follow the PED rules, follow the AWOL rules, follow the WMO rules. All right, you guys, I'm gonna ask also Pete Wilson to please put up the QR code once again, so that anybody who has not scanned that QR code, if you could please, so that we can get you onto the Union Strong app, which is free. And once again, it's going to be useful, helpful information, instant information, and that is going to be the platform that we are going to be using from now on to get the information out there. Of course, we're still going to be using WeChat and Facebook and WhatsApp and all that, but this is going to be the professional official TWU Local 250A platform in terms of getting the message out there. All right, you guys, so please scan this QR code, join the app, and let everybody know. Okay, let's take any other last questions, comments, concerns from anybody else. I don't know if we have any chairpersons on the call. Oh, we have George Kuza. Let's see. Go ahead, George Kuza. Unmute yourself, please.
There we go. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, George Kuza.
Okay. Well, I had a question about earlier. All these payroll issues that we've been having, and all these issues regarding the amount of money they owe us and everything. And I'm sure they're going back 1 year. But at what point as a union do we take a stand and seek legal action as a class towards them for all the amount of money they've been taking from us over the years for different things, not just the lunch?
Indeed. So we have to first follow the process before going through the quote legal aspect. So for example, if we were to take this to court right now, a judge would probably say, have you gone through the process in the MOU, which is filing a grievance, going to step 2, going to the arbitrator? And if the answer is no, then the judge probably might say, well, that's the first step that you need to go through. So go through that step before coming through this avenue. So Michael Dennis is doing everything that he can in terms of bringing out all of the flaws within the system, checking them, and then rectifying them, finding some type of solution to ameliorate these problems going forward. Going backwards, however, there are statutes of limitation that apply to these different situations and scenarios. Sometimes you can go back 1 year, sometimes you can go back 2 or 3. And so all of that is a work in process, and it is, a step-by-step, unfortunately, slow process. So we are looking at all the different avenues that we can pursue.
I see, because it just seems that we keep getting the short end of the stick because they know what they're doing from their end. And then from our end, because we're all confused by this system that they've created that is impossible for anybody to literally understand. And then you see the way that their excuses, well, we can go back 1 year, make it up to you and get away with 2 to 5 years worth of back pay on either a lunch or on breaks or travel time, and etc. And they keep it just one thing after another that they keep just getting away. At one point, we basically have to stand up and stop this because they know what they're doing and they're just waiting for us to catch them. And then they're going to play the limitation game on us.
Right, you're absolutely right. It's extremely irritating and frustrating. And although they have their sort of bad tactics, guess what? We have our secret weapon, and that's Michael Dennis. And he's hitting them with everything that he has in terms of knowledge, intelligence, and experience. And with that being stated, I would like to see you personally at one of these paycheck committee meetings, Tuesday, March 3rd Tuesday, March 30th at 3 p.m. or Friday, April 2nd at 11 a.m. All right, George Kuza?
I want to add, I'd like to add to Roger's answer. George, that's a really good question, and when we think about, getting retribution for what we got shorted, we got to first ask what has been violated. Is it an FLSA law? Is it a state law, or is it the contract? And on this, on these lunch pay, the 20-minute lunch pay that they give us, that's a contract violation. And so I'm satisfied with going back a year. Naturally, I'd like to go back 3 years, but that's just not the statute of limitations that applies to this. If the agency wanted to, they could apply an even stricter one. So we accepted the 1 year back without complaint, and going forward that they've corrected it. So the short answer is that it just really depends on, what is being violated, and each case is going to be different. Like with the FLSA, it did go back 3 years. That was an FLSA violation, and that's the statute of limitations. On the lunch pay, it's different because it's a contract violation.
Thank you for that, Michael Dennis. George,
All right.
anything else?
No, I just, just had some regards, some thoughts to that. Cause I used to work for a class action law firm, and that's what we dealt with, a lot of things like that, where employers would do that purposely to employees and just wait to be caught and then just say, oh, sorry, we'll pay you back the limit, which is in some cases 5 years, some cases it was only 3 years. And like you said, some cases only 1 year, but the employees got hosed for all those other 10 years that it was happening. So, and I see similar things happening with us. And I just, at what point, how they're standing behind the MOU, but I don't know how the MOU states that they're allowed to rip us off that way and use that as a shield to protect themselves from having to retro pay us properly.
You're absolutely right, George Kuza, and unfortunately, that is called politics, unfortunately.
And this is
Anything else, George
another
Kuza?
reason
No.
why it's so important that we understand our checks so that we catch these things early on. You know, like with the FLSA, even going back 3 years, they were ripping us off for 12 years. Just like you said, George, you know,
Right.
it's a gamble. Like, we're going to keep doing it as long as we can. And, you know, they came out, you know, as much as happy as we were that we all got our checks, we got our back pay, they actually won on that. They ripped us off for 12 years and the settlement was for 3 years, you know.
Correct. Yes,
You know.
correct. And that's one of my main points. It's like they're doing these things. They've made these checks so impossible to understand unless you're someone like yourself, Michael. The average individual cannot understand any of those things that are happening with those paychecks. And since we can't understand them, how is anybody I mean, just the fact that you're able to do that, but you only could go so far and fight so far, you know, for the rest of us who can't understand them and have no idea how these things work, because everyone has special skills in different areas. And financing, looking at our pay stub and saying, well, I can look at 10 years of pay stub and say, yeah, I've been ripped off for 10 years. And they look at you and, well, you know, we're only going to pay you for 1 year because you guys barely caught us now, you know. And so they're always coming out ahead and we're getting the short end of it. And at one point, do we take legal action saying, change the way paychecks are being paid out and how everything's being deducted so that everybody could understand it, where it's more of a streamline and less of this, you know, need a master's in mathematics just to try to understand what the heck is getting done for us.
Indeed. I fully agree with you, George Kuza. So let's stop being ripped off, and I'll see you at the paycheck committee. All right, buddy?
Okay. All right.
Let's hear from Raquel Rangel. Raquel, go ahead and unmute yourself, please. Raquel is one of the people who actually was able to benefit from being able to understand, break down, and decipher her paycheck thanks to the help of Michael Dennis and Chairperson Juan Coleman over at Presidio. So Raquel, go ahead.
Hi, yes. So I did, thanks to Mr. Coleman and Michael Dennis, I was able to get a year's worth of pay that Muni wasn't paying me. And I just also wanted to say that not just with checking your pay, but also your timekeeping of hours, because recently in December, I called for COVID and they said dispatcher said I didn't have any hours when I knew that I had 50 hours. So I contacted payroll, and payroll said that it was something to do with programming and they would deal with it, and they fixed it. So recently, about 2 weeks ago, I asked my dispatcher just to see, like, hey, can you just check how many hours of COVID I had? And I should have had 42. And I had 0 again. So I contacted payroll again, and she said the same thing. Oh, there was a glitch. I'll have the programmer fix it. But if I don't check and I call for COVID, I don't have anything. So I just want to, tell people to make sure you always check your money and check your hours, COVID, sick time, vacation, because, we can't rely on the programming to keep our hours for us.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Raquel. And you are the second person that we are going to see at the Paycheck Committee. So thank you for that. Let's see. I don't see any other hands that are raised. Any other questions, comments, concerns, inquiries, any situations, experiences that anybody would like to share or address at this moment? Because if we do not have anything or anyone, then this might be a short meeting. I see a couple of people that are on our PCC committee. I don't know if any of them would like to say anything in regards to the PCC committee. All right, we have one person. It says iPhone. Go ahead.
Hi, Roger. This is Ebony. I tried to add a name to my phone. It didn't work, so I'll try it again. However, I did come in late on the meeting and I missed your spiel about the AWOLs. I unfortunately just experienced one last week. I had surgery and I requested the day off, and all the anxiety about the surgery kind of caused me to forget to check the details. So I got an AWOL. And I am asking for a review of it now because I do have proper documentation to prove that I did have surgery. So can you just brief me a little bit about what you spoke on in regards to the AWOLs?
So I will give you two short answers. Number one, this is recorded, so go back and thing from the beginning. And the second is pertaining to AWOLs is when a dispatcher tells you not to come into work, that is absolutely bad, wrong, and incorrect. You simply show up to work. And if you're 20 minutes late or an hour late, you simply will get a WMO, which is a working miss out. And that for the first offense is simply an oral warning as opposed to an immediate suspension. But I will ask you to contact Pete Wilson tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon, because we have our grievance meeting, which lasts several hours on Thursdays. Contact Pete Wilson so that you can give him the full details to see what we can do to assist. However, always please go through your chairperson at your barn in terms of not stepping over anybody's toes, because it is their barn and they are there to help you. We can't always run, to me or Michael Dennis or Pete Wilson. So please reach out to your chairperson, please, just as a formal sign of respect for the chain of command, and then contact Pete Wilson. Okay, Ebony?
Thank you. Thank you, Ebony, and thank you, Roger. Ebony, I put your name on there for you. Yeah, Roger, they got to go to their chair first. If they don't like the result, I'm happy to help them with step 2. Their chair is in charge of step 1. Thank you.
Okay. I'm giving them time to get the answer from management.
Perfect. Thank you, Ebony. Let's hear from Diana. Go ahead, Diana, and unmute yourself, please.
Hi, Roger. Hi, everybody. Pretty much I wanted to find out about a sign up on Green. If we actually had, can you explain a little bit more of the sign up? Is people have questions about the sign up at Green?
Is the chairperson from Green Division here? Because I personally have not heard of a sign up at Green. What about you, Diana? Have you heard of a sign up at Green?
Actually, no, that's the question is bring up more and more. And because we have hold downs, people wants to sign on the hold downs, and basically because they have line training at the moment, they cannot sign on the hold downs, and people are asking about sign up because some of them are in the extra board. They would like to have actually a actual run, and people with good runs, they don't want to sign up. So we have like a pretty much divided division there. And I want to know if we're going to have a sign as soon as they open the other lines for the subway.
I personally have no idea, but if and when that does happen, we will let you know.
Okay, alrighty, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody else would like to chime in with anything? If not, then I think that will do it for today, you guys. Thank you so much. If you tuned in late, please go back and watch the video, this particular meeting, because there's a lot of good, helpful information that was provided today. Absolutely very important information pertaining to money, lunches, a new pay category, the Union Strong app, etc. So please go back and watch the video and help spread the word, please. This is absolutely important. All right, you guys. Thank you. The meeting is indeed adjourned, and feel free to unmute yourselves and say hi, say bye, good night. All is good. All right, you guys.
Good night, Roger.
Nice.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Night.
The next meeting.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.